MLS is back. Here we are, week 1. We're doing our week 1 predictions. Probably the hardest week to predict because we don't know how well teams are going to play. Yes, we have seen some preseason matches, but here we are. I'm super excited for the season. I feel like I say that so much, but I really am. I'm ready for us to start. And here we are. Our first match is this Wednesday. Inter Miami versus Real Salt Lake. We have seen how bad Miami have played in the preseason. Yes, it's preseason, but still, they go in this world tour. The defense is not good for Miami. They're having the salary cap issues there here at the beginning of the season. So I don't think they are going to finish as well as I predicted in my initial early predictions video. Real Salt Lake have to go on the road here. Their last friendly, they won 3-0 over the team that they played. But I got a feeling they're going to go on the road and they're going to steal a point from Inter Miami. And I believe that match ends in a 1-1 draw. So next up, we have that 2 p.m. game here on Eastern Standard Time. We have Columbus Crew, the champs, versus Atlanta United. I'm very, very excited for this game because I'm actually going to it. So if you're there, you see me, say hello. I'm excited to go. Yes, I will be cheering for Atlanta, but I'm ready to see the experience of Lower.com Field. It always seems like it's a hyped place. Hopefully with it being the season opener, plus them getting the MLS Cup last season, I think it's going to be electric. With that being said, I think that we're going to see 5 goals in this match. I think that Columbus can't lose in their first match. I really want Atlanta to win. Hopefully I'm wrong about this prediction, but I think that Columbus win at home 3-2 over Atlanta United. So coming in at that 4:30 p.m. slot by itself, we have LAFC versus Seattle Sounders. Both teams have had a lot of moves. Both teams are ranked pretty highly around all of your analysts and all that. And a lot of people are saying that Seattle Sounders are going to win the West. This game, though, these two always battle each other. The last time that they played in Seattle, LAFC won that game on the road. That was back in November. But back in June, they played in LA. And LA won that one 1-0. I don't think that happens here. I think because it's the beginning of the year, things are going to have to get, played out, fixed, and all that between both teams. I think we see 4 goals in this one, though, and I think it ends in a 2-2 draw there in LA. Next up, we have Charlotte FC versus NYCFC. These two teams against each other. Charlotte have won 3 of them. They've drawn once. NYCFC have never won this match. Now, last time that they played in Charlotte, Charlotte won 3-2 over NYCFC. I think that changes here. There's a lot of, again, back to what people were saying, that Charlotte aren't going to be that great this season. And I think the NYCFC are going to be a good team this year. And I think that they start off on the right foot. I actually think that they go on the road to Charlotte and win this match 2-1 over Charlotte FC. Staying here on the East Coast, we have DC United versus the New England Revs. These two teams are 11, 7, and 17 against each other. DC United with 11 wins, the Revs with 17. I think that the Revs aren't going to be as good this year as they were last year, but a lot of analysts say otherwise. And then again, DC United, a lot of people are saying they're not going to do that great. And just like the game before this, I have to say the road team wins. I think that the Revs go on the road and win 2-1 over DC United. So that takes us to Orlando City versus CF Montreal. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Orlando. They've made a lot of good moves, and I think that they're going to be one of the best teams in the East. Now, CF Montreal, on the other hand, I do not. I think that they're going to be pretty good. I think, though, that they're going to be battling to get a playoff spot. So with this one, with Orlando being at home at Explorer Stadium, I think that they win this match 3-1 over Montreal. That leads us into Philadelphia Union versus Chicago Fire. This matchup is dominated by the Union, winning 16 with 8 draws and 9 wins for Chicago Fire. But The Fire have made, I think, the best moves, maybe the biggest moves here in the offseason, and surprising moves. I think Chicago Fire is going to be a sleeper in the East, and I don't think that they go on the road here and beat the Union, because Subaru Park on opening day, I just don't see that happening. But I think that they walk away with a point. I think that this game ends in a 2-2 draw there in Philadelphia. So now we go over into another West Conference matchup. We have Austin FC versus Minnesota United. A lot of people are saying that Austin are going to finish 14th in the West. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think that they're going to be that great, but I really hope. I don't know why, because I don't have any ties to Austin FC, but I hope that they don't finish 14th. Minnesota, I think, is a very good team. I love their jerseys. Their jerseys are phenomenal. I know that has nothing to do with what happens on the field. These two teams are kind of split 50-50 in this. Austin have won it 4 times. Minnesota have won it 3 times, and they have not drawn. And I think that Minnesota tie up this matchup between each other. I think that they go on the road and win this match 3-1 over Austin FC. Staying in Texas, we have FC Dallas versus San Jose Earthquakes. Dallas have brought in a bunch of players, and I think Dallas are going to be very good this year and maybe even run for that number 1 spot in the West. San Jose Earthquake, I think that they have a lot to work on. They lose Cade Cowell, and, maybe they'll bring in some players. Maybe they have brought in players that I just haven't really heard of. But I think, though, even though I'm saying those things, and I do feel like I'm saying that there's going to be a lot of goals in this first weekend, kind of hope there are, but I think that the Earthquakes go into Dallas there at Toyota Stadium and get a point, and this match ends in a 2-2 draw. And still staying there in Texas, we have Houston Dynamo versus Sporting Kansas City. I think this is going to be a good matchup. I feel like both of these teams are going to do well in the West. I think Houston's going to be at the top. I think Sporting Kansas City might make that mid-table to bottom half. I think that they do make the playoffs. This matchup has gone back for a while now. Houston have 15 wins. There's been 13 draws and 18 wins for Sporting Kansas City. I think Houston are the better team. I think that they win this match. And again, I'm going with a lot of goals. Maybe I'm just getting too hyped for the season, but I think that Houston wins this match 4-2 over Sporting Kansas City. So next up, we have St. Louis City versus Real Salt Lake. Yes, Real Salt Lake is playing in the very first match there on Wednesday, and then coming back and playing on Saturday, traveling to St. Louis. Currently, this matchup is a 1 win for St. Louis, 1 win for Real Salt Lake. I have to say, though, for this matchup, St. Louis is going to win because Real Salt Lake is traveling to Miami, then to St. Louis, in that quick turnaround from Wednesday to Saturday. I think St. Louis wins this match 2-1 over Real Salt Lake. So next up, we have Portland Timbers versus Colorado Rapids. Portland, I hope that they have a good season this year. And Colorado are one of the teams that I am very excited to watch this year with all the talent that they have brought in. They have finally spent some money to bring in some players. So maybe this might be a rebuilding year and maybe getting everyone on the same terms. I'd like to see them do well. I think that they will. I think that they might sneak into the playoffs. But with them opening up at Providence Park, I think Providence Park is going to be rocking. And I think the Timbers win 2-1 over Colorado. For our first game on Sunday, we have FC Cincinnati versus Toronto FC. Can you believe that these two teams have never drawn against each other? Cincinnati have 6 wins. Toronto have 4. I see FC Cincinnati being one of the top teams there in the East. Either 1 or 2, maybe even 3. Where Toronto, I think they're going to be either 15th, 14th, or 13th at the bottom half. I hate to say that. I want to see Toronto do good because they have not been great in the past couple years. I think with them being at Cincinnati, I think that they win this match. Nice, easy opener for them. I could be wrong. Hopefully Toronto comes out, smacks them in the mouth. I want to see that kind of competition. But I think FC Cincinnati win 3-1 over Toronto. Then we have Nashville SC versus New York Red Bulls. This matchup, Nashville has never won. Red Bulls have won it twice, and they've drawn twice. The last time that they played Nashville, the Red Bulls did win 1-0. That was back in October, though. Yes, it was a different season, whatever, yada, yada. It's the week one. We don't know what we're going to get, but I think that the streak is over for Nashville not winning this matchup between them and the Red Bulls, and I think that they win 1-0 there at Geodis Park. Then our last game of week one, we have the Galaxy versus Inter Miami there on Sunday. LA Galaxy have won this matchup one time, and that's the only time that they've played. They played in Miami. Galaxy went on the road, won that 3-2. They are in LA. Carson, that's where they really play. I think we're going to see some goals here. I think that we might see 5 goals. I think LA Galaxy get it done, though. I think that they win 3-2 over Inter Miami. So those are my predictions for week one. I'm super excited. Please let me know down below what your thoughts are. Who do you think's winning? Who do you think's losing? And what you expect from this season for MLS. And we'll see you next video.